here. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That'll do. That dog won't hunt. We're gonna have to do something about that. I carry a pocket knife every single day. I don't care even if I don't leave the house. Walk around in my jams. If you knife check me, I'm gonna have a pocket knife in my pocket. I carry one constantly. Now, I have had some people, I think they're mainly people from other countries where I think carrying a pocket knife isn't quite as common of a practice as it is here in the US, but they ask me, why do you carry a pocket knife every day? Why do you feel like you need protection? I don't carry a pocket knife for protection. I carry a firearm for protection. I carry a pocket knife as a tool, and it is a tool that I use every single day. Whether that be, I got something tied down the back of my truck and I need to cut a little rope to get that out, or opening one of the 150 Amazon boxes it seems like we get every single week, trimming some little thread on my clothes, cutting up an apple or peeling an apple. Use a knife multiple times a day, every single day, as a tool. And just like with any bladed tool, all that use, eventually, no matter how good the steel is, eventually that knife's gonna go dull. And, well, a dull knife is a useless knife. I mean, the whole object of it is to cut stuff after all. Keeping your knife sharp can be a little bit of a tricky process. Either you've got to be really skilled, like with a manual like whetstone type situation, which really takes quite a bit of skill and practice to get right, or there are your adjustable fixed angle sharpening system kind of situations, which is what I've always used in the past. They're great, but the problem with those is they're usually pretty expensive. The last one I had, which I liked and had pretty good success with, you're about 300 bucks all in by the time you buy it. And I've seen some of the systems out there even more expensive than that. Well, the good folks at WorkSharp sent this over to me, and supposedly this is going to resolve all of our knife sharpening woes. This is a new system they just came out with called the Precision Adjust Elite. WorkSharp Precision Adjust Elite is an adjustable angle knife sharpening system. You get 2 Bracelet Rods, clever name, and a leather strop for a total of 7 different abrasive levels. It has a rotating knife clamp to ensure a consistent angle and secure hold on the blade. It will adjust from 15 degrees to 30 degrees in 1 degree increments. And it comes in a nice carrying case to keep you organized. So if you have the normal Precision Adjust, they do have an upgrade kit available for like 80 bucks. I think it is 70 or 80 bucks, that will give you the additional abrasives that you don't have and the carrying case. The Elite system, which comes with everything we're talking about today, and I think that's right at about 120 bucks if I'm remembering correctly. Either way, in my opinion, smoking deal, because like I mentioned earlier, the other system I used was several $100s all in. Quick disclosure for complete transparency, WorkSharp is sponsoring this video and they did send me this free for review. Also, I have not used this until today when I filmed this video. I didn't want to get it out and practice on it a whole bunch. I wanted to kind of see how out of the box, never using this system before, how simple it was to just pick it up and get a good sharp edge on a knife. And I used the Benchmade Bug Out, my all-time favorite. You guys know my love for the old Bug Out because I put a lot of wear and tear on this knife and the edge was pretty rough from you saw in the beginning of the video. And so we put a new edge on this guy with it. Spoiler alert, you can get a knife very, very sharp with this guy. This baby is now sharp. And if you could tell in the beginning of the video, it wouldn't cut it far. First time using the system, I got a very sharp edge on this thing. Now, this isn't gonna be a full walkthrough on how to use this. I'm just kind of going over my thoughts on the system. If you want a full tutorial on how to use it and how to sharpen a knife with it, my buddy Taylor recently did one where he walked through sharpening a whole knife. He did a really good job. You can check out his video. I'll link that. WorkSharp also has several really great videos on their channel of different videos on using this. Hell, they even have a video going into which stroke is best.
That's what she said?
Sorry, I had to. But rather the push stroke or the pull stroke.
That's what she said. Oh, no, not that. Just come on.
Make sure you don't stroke too close to the tip.
Really? Nothing.
But they have a lot of great videos about, getting the most out of the sharpener. So if you want like a full explanation on sharpening a knife on this, like I said, Worksharp has some great stuff. My buddy Taylor put out a really good. These tri-abrasive rods, what they are is on each one of these, it has 3 different abrasives on it. So on this one, you've got a 600, an 800, and a ceramic. So this is kind of your like finest one that you go to almost last. And this is your kind of rougher one. This has got a 320, a 220, and a 400. That 220, by the way, you can really remove some material pretty quickly. So if you're reprofiling a knife, or if you want to change the angle, the bevel on a knife, that 220 does a pretty good job on taking care of it pretty quick. It depends on the steel of your knife. This bug out is S30V, which sharpens relatively easily. You get into some of your super steels, those knives are just harder to sharpen. These are diamond plates, if I'm not mistaken, so they're gonna do as good of a job as any sharpener out there. Some steels just take a while to sharpen. But I really like these tri-abrasive. The old sharpener I had, it was only one abrasive and you had to switch the abrasive out every time you went up a grit. And it was much harder to get it out. You had to unscrew stuff. I really like the fact that with this, not only do you have 3 on the same carriage that you can just quickly rotate through when you need to change it, but also the way it goes into the base here, it's just a little magnetic. You got this little metal jobber here. This has a magnet in it up here, and this just, it's hard to do, slips right in like that. And then when you're ready to take it out, you just pop it out because it's magnetic. So really easy to go through the grits as you're going and change the rods out. Also on these plates are all replaceable. So if you do wear them out, you can replace them. You don't have to replace the whole system. I also love that with this system, they did include on this carriage right here, you've got a leather strop and you've got a little ceramic rod here for sharpening serrations. So you can touch up your serrated knives with this. You've got a leather strap here. I mean, it's really got just about anything you could ask for to get a crazy sharp edge on a knife. The other thing that is much different than the other system I used before that I really enjoy is this clamp. This clamp is great because you just put your knife in here. It kind of centers itself. You make sure that the front of your knife is parallel with this clamp, and then you just tighten this dude down with this little wheel back here. And I mean, that dude is in there. The other thing I really, really like is when you want to switch sides, you don't have to take it out of the clamp, you don't have to do anything. All you do, push this little button here in the back, the dude flips right over, which I love, because that makes switching from one side to the other super quick and easy, and you make sure it stays super consistent because the knife is never leaving this clamp, which I really dig. Also, this is magnetic, so that comes out super easy if you need it to. In general, everything in this system comes apart easy. So it comes in 3 pieces, this piece, this tower top base, and then the base plate with rubber feet. And I mean, it takes all of like 3 seconds to put this thing together. You just put that in there, your dude in there, and then grab your tri-abrasive rod. Bam, you're together. When you want to break it down, you're done. Pull that out, push that. I mean, Bob's your uncle. You can't ask for anything better than that. You really, really can't. I have really enjoyed using it. And sharpening a knife can be tricky. I've talked about that in the past. If you're using a whetstone and you don't keep your angle just right, I mean, you can jack a knife straight up. With this, just about anybody can keep a really good edge on a knife. Working through the grits was super easy. It does take a little bit of time. I did also sharpen a kitchen knife on this to see how big you could go. And I sharpened like, a full-size butcher knife. I don't know, probably 8 or 10 inch butcher knife. And I was able to get that sharpened. It does get a little tricky with flipping the knife over when you get a knife that big, because it hits, so you kind of have to tilt it back to flip the knife. But it will reach, your full-size kitchen knives. All these kind of pocket knives and stuff are perfectly good. Tontos you could handle, serrations. I don't know what the actual limit of the blade edge that this thing will sharpen, but I know anything in my house, all my kitchen knives, all my pocket knives, easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Also, the adjustment here is super easy because you just twist this guy here, and you can move all the way from a 15 up to a 30, and then there's little micro adjustments over here to let you know in between. When I sharpened this knife, I very briefly used the, what was it? The 220. I don't know that you necessarily will need to go to this 220 when sharpening all knives if they're not crazy dull or you're not trying to reprofile them. I did have some spots that the bevel from the factory didn't seem super even, and I was having a hard time getting a burr, so I did drop down to a 220. And then also you can sometimes skip some of these grits, so you don't have to go through every single one. It depends on how mirror finish you want, to how many grits you go through, how toothy of an edge you want, or if you want like a super mirror finish, no teeth. You can go through each and every grit, take a lot of time to get all of your previous grit marks out, and you can get close to a mirror finish. I don't know that I would call the edge I got on this quite a mirror finish. Now, when I sharpened this, I'd spent probably, I'd say 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes on this one. It was really dull. If you took longer, I could have gotten a cleaner edge as far as like the finish being more mirror, because with the strop and the ceramic, you can come close, but I mean, you can't complain with that edge. I mean, let's see if you can just, you see the little corkscrew guy starting there? You see that? When you can do that right there and get that little corkscrew with that little tiny piece of paper, you got a sharp ass knife. But I mean, you can tell, look how sharp that is. I mean, it is just going through that like butter, okay? That is a sharp ass knife, my friends. Because your blade is super locked in here and your angle is locked in here, you're gonna have really repeatable results. And even, I would say, a novice to knife sharpening should be able to get a damn sharp edge on this thing. If I had to give any gripes about it, what would I say? Well, like I said, it won't go quite to like a true mirror finish. Normally to do that, you gotta get like lapping films and stuff like that to those crazy high grits and really work through those. What you could do is get some lapping film, they're pretty cheap, and you could stick it to the back of this ceramic plate and do it yourself. If the folks at WorkSharp wanted a suggestion for me of ways to potentially upgrade a version 2, maybe include some lapping films and one of the tri-abrasives to have a flat piece that you can stick some lapping film to. The other thing would be the stones are about 4 inches. I think the width is perfect because that's what allows you to kind of, if you got a weird curvy edge on your knife, it's narrow enough that you're gonna be able to get in most curves and still sharpen your knife. But they're only 4 inches long, which serves the purpose fine. I had no issues getting the knife sharp, but if they were a little longer, you get a little bit longer stroke on the situation.
That's what she said.
You might be able to make a little quicker work of sharpening some knives. Oh, and the other thing is the plastic carrying case thing that holds everything in is kind of some thin, cheaper type plastic material. But like I said, at this point, I'm nitpicking. I'm just trying to tell you any little things for suggestions for improvements on the future. In general though, I think it's a great system. The fact that they include a case, everything fits in here really nicely is fantastic. There's nothing like having all this shit laying around and it gets lost because you got little pieces. Everything fits right in the carrying case. Everything comes apart super quick and easy, like I mentioned before. Can't beat it. It's got all the abrasives you need to get all the way from reprofiling a knife all the way to getting damn near a mirror finish. It's got a leather strop so you can really get that crazy hair popping sharp, just scary sharp edge on your knife. Overall, guys, I think it's a win. I'm super happy with the system. I think it works really well. I think they've done a really good job with this one. And at the price, I think it could be a really great Christmas present. I know we're rolling up to Christmas coming up soon. Unfortunately, I got a whole lot of other projects going. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get a full Christmas gift guide out, but hey, this would be a perfect gift. My buddy Taylor's talked about it before. Getting a knife guy a knife is kind of sometimes a little suspect. People that are big into knives are pretty particular, but getting them stuff to help with their knives is a good thing. And this is the perfect thing to make sure everybody keeps their knives good and sharp coming into 2022. I know I would be stoked if somebody gave me one of these for Christmas. All right, guys, so that's it. That is the Work Sharp Precision Adjust Elite. Man, that's a mouthful. As always, I will leave links down below, so if you guys are interested, you know where to find it. Thanks again to the good folks at Work Sharp for sponsoring this video, supporting the channel, and sending me this really cool sharpener for review. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it useful, and maybe even a little entertaining. If you did, feel free to smash that like button. I do have a really sharp knife. I mean, I'm not threatening anybody, but I mean, do you want to disappoint a guy that has a knife that's sharp? If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. We'd love to have you on board. I hope everybody is having a fantastic week, and we will see you in the next video. Also, some good stuff coming for you guys for Christmas. Got some whiskey glasses dropping this week. I'll have some new whiskey glasses out. I don't think the journals are gonna be done in time. They're still printing them. I don't think. I hate to say that, but I don't think the journals are gonna be ready for Christmas.